How do you pick the best lawyer for your Illinois dog bite case? Hi, I'm Josh Rohrscheib. I'm a personal injury lawyer in Central Illinois. And in this video, I want to talk to you about how you pick the best lawyer for you, or how do you find the right lawyer to partner with you in trying to make sure that you have the best recovery you can in a dog bite case. And this is important because while some of these cases may settle quickly, sometimes personal injury cases may last for years. So it's really important that you get a lawyer that you can trust, that you're comfortable with, and if possible, that you like working with. So here are some factors that I hope you'll use in trying to pick a lawyer to make sure you pick the best one for you. First, when you go to meet with the lawyer, I'd encourage you to really pay attention to how they treat their staff, how they treat you. Do they listen to you? Do they really want to understand what your questions and concerns are? Do they want to make sure that your questions are answered? And do you feel heard? Do you feel like they're going to pay attention, like they're going to take the time with you that you want to make sure that you really understand the process? Or are they just pushing papers in front of you, trying to get you to sign quickly and trying to move on? This initial consultation is really the time when the lawyer should have their best foot forward. And if in that moment they won't listen to you, or they won't spend the time that you want with you, that may be the best it ever gets. So I would use that as a bit of a warning sign. Second, I'd encourage you to ask the lawyer, what are the cases like yours they've handled in the past? And then if they give you a kind of a vague general answer, don't be afraid to ask follow-up questions. Ask how many cases like yours they've handled in the last year, how many they're handling now, how many they've handled in the last 5 years, what the recoveries have been in cases like yours. Ask them in cases like yours where maybe they didn't turn out as well as they would have hoped, what went wrong? All of these sub-questions or follow-up questions can help you really get a sense of if the lawyer has handled cases like yours successfully in the past. Next, ask the lawyer how they would value your case. Now, if you've just been injured and you're still treating, and if it's a dog bite case, maybe you don't know if you're going to need additional surgeries, it may be too early to really give you a number to value your case. But the lawyer should be able to explain to you how they go about valuing a case in a way that you're comfortable with, that makes sense to you. And it may involve their experience in past cases. It may involve statewide jury verdict and settlement services that tell them about settlement amounts and other cases like yours that they can rely on, and they can at least explain what factors go into valuing a case. And related to that, they should be able to answer a question that you should ask about what they can do or what you can do, or how can you work together to maximize the value of your case? Like what strategy would they use to try to get you the best possible outcome in your case? Next, I'd like to talk to you generally about trust factors, or what can you do to help you decide if this is a lawyer you can really trust. So first, I'd encourage you to look at that lawyer's online ratings and reviews from past clients. How are the ratings? If someone does leave a negative rating, maybe it was a crazy person. So look at how the lawyer responded to a negative rating. That can be very telling. If someone is still gracious and professional and maintaining confidentiality in responding to a negative review, that's a good sign. We've seen some crazy things that lawyers have posted responding to negative reviews in the past. Look at how they're rated by other lawyers. There are some online sites like Martindale, Hubble, and Super Lawyers, and where lawyers have, and AVA, where lawyers have ratings from other peers. Some may even have that on their website, because that can give you some idea of how they're thought of in the community. Another trick you can use is asking the lawyer about their practice and what percentage of their cases are referred by other lawyers. Lawyers who get referred lots of cases by other lawyers in the community tend to be trusted by lawyers in the community. So that's a good sign for you that you may be able to trust that lawyer too. One step that you should probably take that hardly anyone does to determine whether or not you should trust a lawyer is looking them up in the state's directory that registers lawyers. It's called the ARDC, or iardc.org. There's a lawyer search function there. And you can see if the lawyer has ever been disciplined or reprimanded or done anything unethical that they've been in trouble with the bar for. And lawyers are human. Someone may make a bad decision and a bad mistake, but all else being equal, most folks would rather have a lawyer who's never been disciplined or reprimanded. So it's something that you may want to know. Also, and this is very important, on that page, the lawyers have to report to the bar whether or not they have malpractice coverage. And because lawyers are human and even good lawyers can make a mistake, it's very important to make sure your lawyer has malpractice coverage in a dog bite or personal injury case. So check that, and if they do not have malpractice coverage, I would strongly encourage you to make a different decision on the lawyer you work with. Another question related to their practice and their staffing, I'd encourage you, and this is maybe gets away from the kind of category of trust factors and more just kind of looking at the operation and thinking about what you really want in your lawyer. I'd encourage you to ask the lawyer how many cases they're handling. And the reason is, in cases where you're in situations where you have a lawyer who represents like 2,000 people, you're not going to have nearly as much interaction and time and as much communication with your lawyer as in a case if your lawyer represents 50 people. So you might want to get a sense of just what that lawyer's caseload is like and how they manage that and how they will communicate with you, which may be related to the size of the caseload that they're carrying. You should ask the lawyer about communication, like what their policies are. Can you talk to them if you need to? Some lawyers will give you their cell phone number. Like maybe you want that. Maybe you're fine just working with staff, but I'd encourage you to ask questions about that up front to make sure that the arrangement that you have with the lawyer is one that you'll be comfortable with. You should also ask if the lawyer you should ask the lawyer what percentage of their case is personal injury work. And while there are a lot of great general practitioners, all else being equal, we find that typically lawyers who focus their practice in personal injury tend to get better results in personal injury cases. There are a lot of reasons for that. They may have more relationships with experts. They may be better at valuing cases. They may be better at knowing all the intricacies of reducing your liens and medical bills. They may have more relationships with defense counsel that helps them just kind of get things done and move things along. But it's important that you know if you're working with an injury lawyer or a general practitioner who does a few injury cases. And you may have a strong preference for one or the other. And anyway, so these are some factors that you can use in trying to make sure you pick the best injury lawyer for your case. If you have any questions about dog bite cases in Illinois, please don't hesitate to reach out. Be happy to help you. Happy to answer your questions. And thank you for taking the time to watch this video.